Tears of the Kingdom's map is much bigger compared to Breath of the Wild. The added verticality, the sky, and the depths add so much more to the world, but is there even more? Back in Breath of the Wild, there were a few glitches to escape the boundaries of the map, and if you successfully clipped underground, you could find a secret ocean underneath all of Hyrule. And that left me with the question, what's under Hyrule now? Is the ocean still there? And beyond that, what's under the depths? I decided there was only one way to know for sure, but what I found was not what I expected at all. Make sure to watch it at the end of the video if you enjoyed, but with that, let's go. So if I was going to make it under Hyrule, the first thing I had to do was learn how to clip. Back in Breath of the Wild, you could use shield skew to phase through the floor, but that method does not work anymore. I checked some lists of glitches for Tears of the Kingdom and found one called hydro clipping that might work. It didn't look too hard to do, so I decided to go ahead and give it a shot on the surface. Apparently, to hydro clip, you have to fuse a hydrant to your shield, then overload the game by spamming a bunch of water at once. And to do that, we need the shield to be permanently on by shocking yourself at just the right moment. Now, the timing was pretty tricky, but after a few tries, it worked. Battery was draining pretty fast, so we had to move quick. The next step is to overload the game by spawning in a bunch of water at once, and we can do that by hanging out in recall. I pulled out a control stick to grab onto, and if it works right, all the water stored up should lag the game into clipping the control stick right underground. So if I just hop into recall right here, alright, even though there's no water coming out right now, my battery's actually still going down, and that means it's still spitting water, we just can't see it. But once I exit out, it's going to spawn all that water at once, so I think that should be enough. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Whoa, losing frames. Oh, there we go, that's it. Woo! Looks like the ocean is still under Hyrule this time around, but you can actually clip right through it. You cannot swim it. Instead, you fall right down into the depths. So now that I knew hydro clipping worked for certain, it was time to escape the depths. So I fast traveled over to a light route and set up the glitch one more time. It didn't take as long this time, so that's nice. Well, time to go. Are you ready? It's time to see what's under the depths. Let's do this. Alright, so steering stick kicked me off and it's just a void. Bro really went under the bedrock layer, for real. There was one problem though, because as I fell further, I voided out. And when I respawned, I was back in the depths, so was all this just a waste of time? When I went into the void, it was right near the end of the game, and that room that I went by does have a void out trigger itself. So maybe going further away would actually work. Now it's at this point in the video, you're probably gonna ask, oh man, did it work? Did he make it? Just look at the length of the video, of course it did. So I started to fall, and this time I did not void out. I usually turn off the minimap when I'm recording, but this time I turned it on so we could see the Y value. And that Y value was going down fast. No matter how far I dove, I just kept falling, and I was starting to wonder, is this just gonna fall forever? 2,500 underground, still no sign of stopping. It stopped. It stopped, but it's covered in gloom. Well, we made it. So it looks like there is ground under here. There is ground, but it's made of gloom, which is, you know, very sad. But why negative 3080? That is ridiculous. That's like the opposite of the height limit. Because I think the height limit is like 3020 or something. So this is like maybe a lower height barrier of some kind. It doesn't look like there's any ground. I guess it's a little dark though. But it kind of just looks like we're floating. So the bright bloom seed lit up the wing at least, but it doesn't look like there's anything to light up here. You know, it's like the ground's invisible where it is. Oh, it is invisible. I can see under the wing. But interestingly enough, it's still pretty dark even with the bright bloom. I threw a bunch more bright blooms and it didn't get much brighter, so you know what? Who knows? But then I noticed something weird. The wing was moving. It was just kind of aimlessly spinning, you know, and I wonder if that's because I threw the bright bloom seeds at it. So I kind of just let it do its thing for a while, because, you know, what am I going to do? But I realized, so's the control stick. And for that matter, nothing was stopping. That's pretty weird, and I didn't really know what was causing this, but I just decided to, I kind of just forgot about it and decided to keep exploring. Now the biggest burning question for me at this point was, can you go even further? No. I tried clipping even further underground, but this is the lowest you can go, so time to explore. But since I couldn't even see what the gloom was, or if this whole thing was all just gloom, I decided to go ahead and make a car. But as I started driving with the rockets on my car, something weird happened. It didn't slow down. It's hard to tell speed down here since everything looks the same, but if you check the map, Even when the rocket disintegrated, it didn't slow down. And then I turned off the car to stop, and it still kept going. And that brings me to my first discovery about the Void. There is no friction. I tried with a lot of different vehicles, and this does explain why the steering stick and everything else was acting so weird. It looks like no matter what you do, everything down here is completely frictionless, which means we got to move in pretty fast. And of course, the instant I stepped out the car, it just kept going. Kinda looks like I found a spot without gloom though, so that's nice. I was actually able to make a pretty crazy hoverboard just by using a cart and a fan. I tried using a lot of different vehicles and they all kept going forever, even when I turned them off. Now, of course, my first thought seeing frictionless was, how far can I ragdoll? Cause come on. Look at how far I slid. All the way over there. I guess I should put down card or something before I die. Oh, that was close. That was close. So, moral of the story is bring food. Like a lot of food. Well, since the whole thing was frictionless, I got a little bit creative and made an explosion-powered car. Have you guys heard of the Orion project? Because I think I just did it. NASA, hire me now. Maybe not. But you know, having everything frictionless let me make some pretty crazy looking cars, like a flying skeleton. Well, I spent a lot of time flying down here on my skeleton spaceship, and as I did, I noticed two things. First of all being that the lava areas are still on fire. It looks kind of majestic, honestly. If you look up, you can see the entire map of the depths from here. It's pretty cool. And the second thing, I tried passing the time with a campfire, but then I noticed something really weird. As soon as I lit a campfire, it just fell straight under the ground. Even though I couldn't make it down here with hydro clipping, I couldn't make it past the barrier, but the campfire could. So maybe there's still some more mysteries down here. Also, as it got closer to nighttime, I realized you could actually see the stars, which was really cool. But unfortunately, I was running low on health and I had no more gloom healing food, so I lit everything up with a bright bloom and took one last picture. And with that, it was time to return to the surface. Even in the empty void, there were still moments of pure mystery and a bunch of crazy stuff we found. And just think, this is only a few months after Tears of the Kingdom came out, so who knows what other secrets this game has to offer? I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. And with that, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye!